So Jim, we do a lot of Facebook ads for Jim's mowing, and there's a lot of things put in with the things, and there's like 10k to get started. Then there's a big one which is 2,500 weekly guarantee to give you peace of mind. Now we've had someone who's come on the comments and been very animated with his responses, and he says 2.5. His name's Justin Wiles, $2.5 a week. You guarantee, yet you do not write how long you guarantee that income for. There's no way in a world you could earn that mowing lawns $2.5 a week. So maybe when you take away royalties, tax, all that sort of stuff, and maintenance, you earn stuff all mowing lawns. So maybe you want to talk about that.
Well, I was a mowing contractor myself for 15 years, and let me tell you, my average day, full day, would be 12 jobs. Because a lawn mowing, you can do it in half an hour, basically that, depending how far you've got to travel. The average price for a mowing job these days is around about $60. So even in my own experience, and I wasn't really maximising my income in all kinds of ways, it's possible to earn that. The thing I would say to this guy and anybody else, if you don't believe it, come to us and spend a day or two on the road with a successful franchisee. In fact, $2,500 a week is well below the average. Recently, we actually did a survey of mowing franchisees, and the average turnover, the typical turnover, was $2,900 per week, not $2,500. That was the average. I just spoke to a guy this morning who turned over more than $1 million in the last year, and he has for the last 4 years. He's got employees, of course. So what I say to anybody, if you don't believe it, it's a really simple thing to do. Come up with us, go out on the road, and you can see somebody doing the job and getting paid, and you count up how much money they're making. Okay, let's talk about costs. Your costs would be as follows. Probably around about $750, $800 would be the average for fees. So you're talking about $200 a week there. Then you've got your major other cost is your car cost, driving around. That depends on how far you travel. Obviously, when the beginning you travel further, but then you have odd expenses like you'll probably need a new mower every year, your occasional brush cutter, this kind of thing, maybe some tip charges. We think that the average turnover, the average profit of a franchisee is probably just a bit over $100,000 a year, which is not incredible. But then again, when you bear in mind the average Australian wage is about $75,000 a year, it's not bad. I find it very odd. I don't understand why somebody would be so adamant when it's so easy to check. See, one of the things we do when a person approaches us about a franchise is we say the first thing you've got to do is to do some research. I want you to go out on the road. In fact, we insist on it and spend some time with established operators, learn how it's done, see what they do, see whether you want to do it. But it's very easy to check the income. And the other thing you really should do, and this applies to anybody buying a franchise in any system at all, including ours, you must get hold of a list of current franchisees with their contact numbers. The ACCC insists it's provided. If somebody doesn't do that, they're in breach of the franchising code, in breach of the law. And you could actually ask for your franchise money back if they fail to do such a thing. Get hold of that list from wherever you're looking and ring as many as possible and just ask them and say to them, look, $2,500 a week, that's impossible, isn't it? Just see what they say. Because most of them will tell you, no, it's not possible. That's a part-time income from our point of view. We've got guys in their 70s who make more money than that. Now, one of the questions asked, how long does this go on for? And that is an important and it's a good question. There are a couple of ways to doing it. One of them is to say, if you spent, because franchisees ask for work on a week-by-week and day-by-day basis, if there's 8 weeks in which you have taken, you haven't accepted work outside your territory for most of the week, then as far as we're concerned, you're filled up. So the guarantee doesn't apply to that. And the other thing is there also may be a certain number of leads provided, but that usually lasts for at least a year. Now, what we offer, I might say, is not actual income guarantee. What it means if you don't make that level of money, $2,500 per week, what you can and should do, in fact must do, is go out and do free services for people you like. And it could be your mother. It could be your neighbour, it could be your friends, it could be people from your local sporting club, it could be anybody. It could be franchise from other divisions. You have to do the freebies, but if you do them, we'll pay you the money. In practical terms, franchisees who do that never claim for more than 2 or 3 months because they get busy so quickly. The franchisees who fail for lack of work are those who don't take advantage of this system, and there have been a few, unfortunately. We do get a lot of comments from people saying that it's impossible to earn that kind of money. But there's a reason for that. It's because in the popular mind, top earners are people like doctors and lawyers and financial advisors who make, obviously somebody who works with their hands is a manual labourer. So the idea is that kind of person can make, $30, maybe $35 per hour. The fact of the matter is we wouldn't even consider any new division where you couldn't make at least $60 per hour. It's just not worth doing. So there's a big difference between the public perception of what the kind of things we do, like building fences and mowing lawns and cleaning houses, and the actual reality of how much you can charge for it. It's amazing. It's something people just do not realise. There is so much money in services, and you do not want to work for rubbish money like $30 an hour.